requirement based on the future demand and the range. You can select it. For an example, if you have a 15 days or 30 days frozen window, so you can select those date range, and then you can see simulate how it is going to be, and then you can go with the Ultriva's recommendation.
All right, so now that we have our date range chosen, we'll go ahead and choose this. I will go ahead and we will choose everything here. I'm not going to choose a coordinator or anything. And then we will go ahead and we will select all changes. We are going to release everything to the supplier. And we will go ahead and click Show Report here. All right, so now what we have, this is going to show us our plant where we are. It's going to show us our date range that we have selected, and it's going to show us, we're showing all changes. Right now, with this gross requirement selection that we have chosen and the date range, we do have 5 items that have an increasing demand, and it is showing us here that we do have to add cards. And we do have 4 cards where, 4 items where we are actually deleting cards. And we also have our total value. It kind of takes our total value of added and deleted. So if we take all of these recommendations, we're going to be adding almost $300,000 worth of inventory. But we can select which ones we want.
Yeah, in this particular screen, we don't have the checkbox on the top. You cannot select all of them and do that. To make sure that the buyers are aware of which part number, what action they need to take, so we don't provide select all button in here. So you may have to select whatever item you need to resize it. So in this particular case, for an example, let us take the part number which has the usage per day, the forecasted usage per day of 10,023. So what you can do is you can select that particular part. If you keep the cursor on the forecasted usage, what this will do is it will show you your gross requirement which we got it from your MRP system, and it will show that in the tooltip, and based on this we will calculate the average future usage, and then it will tell you what is your current usage per day. In this particular case, 778.6554, which is going to go up to 1023.75. So in some cases, if you think that okay, my MRP is not, my bill of material is not accurate, I know that this is not going to be 1023, and I want to change it to 900. You have an option to go back to the usage per day checkbox and change that usage from 1000 to 900. Once you change that things to 900, if you click on the calculate new cards button on top of it, so what this will do is it will recalculate the total Kanban and tell you how many cards you are going to do. Initially it was showing 19 cards you are going to add. Now you reduced your usage per day. The system recalculates and then tell you that you need to add 15 cards instead of 19 cards. The same way, what you can also do is, if you take for an example on the first part number, the system is recommending you to delete 6 Kanbans. So you don't want to delete 6 Kanbans. You want to go in a slower pace. So you can change that card count from 6 to 3 for an example. Then what you do is, if you click on the calculate safety stock, what this will do is it will adjust the parameter based on this number, and then it will increase the safety stock so that you are the data in the system is accurate and which is calculated to your Kanban formula set in the system. So once you do that, then if you click on the confirm resizing for selected items, then it will take you to the next screen where it will show you what are all the changes it is going to make. And once you are comfortable with that, you can click the auto resizing. Before that, you can see the part number. You can take one of the part number and you can go back and refer. In this particular case, let's take for the first part number, your current usage is 500. and then your future usage is going to be 315. So you can see that once you complete the resizing, you can go back to the part and edit. You can see that this data is updated. Can you click
all right, we'll
apply?
go ahead and do apply here. And we do have to confirm that, yes, this is what we know we're going to do. All right, it says that is successful. We can click to view those results. And it does say that we have 3 cards that were marked for deletion for this first part. And it did add our 15 cards that we said here in the, for our other option. So if we want, we can double check this. We can go here to this part number. If we go to admin item here, we can say item number starts with this. All right, and we can edit that, and we can have a look at a couple of things. It did change our usage per day, and it did change our safety time to what we had selected there. I will go click cancel here, and we will see. I don't remember if that. Yeah, that's our same part number here. If we go to if we click on cards, we can see, sure enough, we do now have the 3 cards marked to be destroyed after consumption. All right, and somebody has asked us a question, and that is, every time we delete a card, does it go to supplier for approval? And it does not. As soon as you release the card, it will be destroyed, and so the supplier does not have to, in this type of situation, the supplier does not have to have approval for that.
Okay, see, in this particular case, what we are doing is we are marking the next 3 cards for deletion. So whatever card you are consuming, that is going to be destroyed. We are not going to place an order. So we are not recalling any cards with the supplier. So there is no need for the supplier to know about we are planning to destroy anything, because it's not going to affect any of the existing order.
All right, and at this time, I don't think I see any other questions, so I think we can move on here. So another method of the resizing was to kind of do it during a data load kind of a process. And to get to that, you would select Item, Tools, Data Load, and it would be this item data load. And with that, we maybe have a few other slides that will kind of discuss this in a little bit more detail. Okay.
Yeah. So for making if you want to resize your Kanban based using the data load screen, what you need to do is, before you do that, you need to verify your item level setting. So system level settings. So to reach here, what you need to do it is, if you go into my accounts and my business unit configuration, so that will take you to this particular screen, where in the second tab is cards. In the cards tab, it will tell you if you whether you want to create the loops when you are adding a new parts. If you turn it on, what the system will do is, if the part is not available in Ultriva, it will create those parts. It will do all the Kanban formulas, and then it whatever data is available, based on that, if you have a beginning on-hand quantity, it will create that many cards, on-hand cards, and if the orders are placed, it will create that many cards and release it to the supplier. So if you want to do it for any new item, you can do it, Or in some places, a customer used to say that, okay, I don't want the system to automatically create the cards. I would like to go and manually do that. In that particular case, you can turn that flag off. So the next option in here is when you are doing an item loop size, are you, if for an existing item, what do you want to do? So there are three options provided in here. One is you don't want to do any resizing, just to update the data. The system will do that. And the second option is either you want to increase and decrease, both you want to do it, you can select the second option. And the third option is I want to do only increase. I don't want the system to automatically decrease my inventory, just to log that information. Yes, that is also available. Based on the option you select it in here, when you do a data load, it will automatically resize your Kanban based on the information provided in here. There are a few more settings available in here. So the same way, when you are going to use the loop size formula, in some cases, the Kanban, in typical Kanban methodology, you may need to have 2 cards minimum. So do you want to retain a minimum of 2 cards? Or in some cases, people may say that no, I can run with 1 card because I have a shorter lead time and the container size is very big, so I don't want to keep 2 cards in the system. When I open the box, I'm going to trigger, so I'm going to get it anyway. So in that particular case, you can select the second option, no adjustment required. And the third option is not for the data load. It is mainly if you are using the screen to resize. So do not force that Kanban size. It means Ultriva will make the suggestion, but it will not do any changes to the loop. So you have to go and manually create. In some cases, what happens is the customer used to determine, okay, even though system says that 5 cards, I need to maintain at least 8 cards. So they can create that many cards and do that. That is not Ultriva recommendation, but in some cases, customer use that option too. And then the next option, next one is how many cards you want to maximum number of cards to be created in one run. This is based on our experience. We have added this. Ultriva recommend that in for one item at one time, do not create more than 200 cards because in one particular case, when they are sending the data, instead of putting a period in between the decimals, instead of getting 200, we got it as 2000. So that made around 10,000 cards. So then it will become a little bit of an issue. So what we have done it is you can set for your plant how many number of cards maximum for a particular part number you can do. You can set it up to 100 or 200 or 300. It is up to you to determine how many cards maximum can be created at one time. Okay. So once you set that parameters or the configuration in the configuration, then you can come back and do an auto data load. So in this data load, when you click the there is an option, click here to download the sample file. This will give you the template for the data load screen. So this is an Excel file. What you can do is you can update all this information, and then once you finish all that information, you can copy this and put it into a text file and upload it into the using the browse method. So once the file is uploaded, it will automatically do the resizing using the formula set in the system, using the configuration set in the system. The recommendation from Ultriva is before you use this tool, every time better run this data load in the test environment, verify all the parameters, everything is correct, and then run it in a production system. Because a lot of people use this tool for every monthly load. Sometimes, if there is a mistake in the data, it's going to create a lot more cards and it's going to create a lot more work for everybody. So it is better to run this particular thing if you are using the item level data load. It is better to run it in the test environment before you run it in the production environment. Okay, once you run that, what Ultriva will do is it will create the entire log or entire things, whatever happened for that particular run. To get the retrieve the record, what Ultriva has done it, you can go into integration, batch job status, item sync, and you can put the date range. It will tell you how many times you have loaded the file, and you can see what is the result for that. So if you click onto that result, it will tell you for each and every one of the part number whether it has added the card. It will compare with the existing loop size with the new loop size, and then it will also tell you whether it is going to delete a card or it is going to create the card, whether it is based on the setup, is it going to release the cards to the supplier. All that informations are provided in here. So before you move this to production, take a look at this one time. You can export this into an Excel file and sort it, and you can take a look at it before you run this in the production environment.
All right, and let's see if we have any other questions. When I am creating new cards for an item, it releases to the supplier. What can I do to turn that off? Let's see. So I'm assuming the person maybe who has asked this, I'm assuming maybe they are coming here to
we need to know which way they are using this particular thing. Are they using the template?
Okay. All right. So the person, Danette, if you wouldn't mind answering, how are you doing this sizing? Are you editing an item or adding an item through admin item here? So please go ahead and answer, type an answer to that if you can. And while I'm waiting for Danette to answer how she's adding and creating these new cards, I will answer another question. Looks like someone has asked, where can I find the template for the data loader? And if you go to admin tools and you go to this data load, the item data load here, here's where you can get that sample file that does open up in Excel. And in order to do this, you do need, you would fill out that template and then copy that into a text file like Notepad and save that, and then that is what that text file is what you would upload. So if you have any questions about that at a later time, certainly feel free to reach out to us, and we'll try to guide you through that. So far I kind of haven't heard back about how the new cards are getting created for that question about how to turn that off.
Okay, since we didn't get it, we will go through all the three options we have discussed. If you're going to use the auto resize method, there is an option in the on the left hand side checkbox whether you want to release the cards to the supplier. If you uncheck it, it will not release the cards to the supplier. The second method, if you go into item, and if you are going to create a new part number and new cards, then it will ask you for how much inventory you have it. Can you go back to that screen? We can show that. Yeah, if you can get into, yeah, you can add one part number.
Okay, we'll add one real quickly here. All right, I'll add myself here. Usage per day, we'll say 5. Safety time 5. Quantity on card 10. All right, we'll save that.
Supplier. So you need to add the suppliers.
Yep, we had to add our supplier here. Let's see, we'll keep that supplier user and a lead time, maybe say 2 days. We'll say a transit time of 2 days. All right, we'll go ahead and save that now.
In the item coordinator.
Oh, did I miss
that? Yeah, add last one.
Oh, item already exists. Okay, we'll All right. Setup cards.
So when you go into the setup cards, it will ask you how much inventory you have it on hand, and then how much quantity you are having it you already placed with the supplier. Let's take for an example, you have 25 pieces on hand, and then you already placed an order for 100.
Yeah, so if we say 100 here, it's going to go ahead and release those to the supplier.
And in this particular case, if you can click onto the next one, and it will calculate the number of cards in the system you need to have, and then it will do all that math and tell you how many extra cards you have. In your example, as you said that you don't want to release any cards to the supplier, the best option is to take the number of cards and the container size and put it into on hand, so that the system will not release the cards to the supplier. Every card, I put it as 0. Then what this will do is it will create the cards in your on hand cards, and then it will not release it to the supplier, so that whatever you want to do your calculation, you can do that.
All right.
Or the other option you can do in here is, if you can you cancel that? And then if you can go into items, my account and my business unit configuration. We don't recommend this method, but you can do that also. In this Kanban loop, Kanban formula, loop size formula kind, if you can say it as do not enforce force the Kanban loop, then what it will do is it will allow you to handle that. It doesn't, even though it takes the on-hand cards, but the system will allow you to create that many cards, and you can release it whenever you want. But typically what we do is, if it is a new part, we will try to calculate the Kanbans and then try to release it.
All right. Very good. We do have another question here. What is the difference in using the Kanban loop design versus the auto resize? So
Kanban loop design.
So if we go ahead and look at that. Oh, have you seen this, Nandu? Well, there's the loop design wizard. Is there a report that says that has the Kanban loop size also?
No, actually, this is for resizing the existing one. I need to get that from engineering, because this is a new feature we added it.
Okay, all right. So we'll have to get back to you on get back to you on that, since this is something newer for us. All right. So we have a few more questions. We got a lot of people with questions here. If we have item sync integration set up, can we use item data load instead for resizing? I would say using the this resizing, it might go back to to your corporate policy as to whether they allow this kind of a resizing. But yes, you can use this item data load. I would have to also check, because I think you have to use that same format that you're using for your existing item sync to do this. But certainly you could always give this a try in your test environment to see how things go. All right. Okay, so I don't see any other questions at this time. Maybe here's another one. Can you resize loops for one supplier using the data load option? All right, so that brings up an excellent question. So yeah, on the data load, if you only want to update things for one supplier, you can. I will say with this data load option, if you have an item that is multi-sourced, like an item that you have 2 or more suppliers for, you would need to send both suppliers or however many suppliers you have for that particular item, in that same file. So yes, to answer your question, that can be done for just a particular subset of parts. All right, I'm trying to look here. I don't see any other questions at this time. So it looks like that's about all we have for today. My contact information is here on the screen, and if you need anything, feel free to reach out to us. And other than that, everyone else have a very good rest of the day. And thank you for joining us.